Time to glue. All right, so today is floor day. We're putting in the subfloor today. I'm gonna create some battens to run along the floor that we can secure our subfloor to. I'm gonna throw some Havelock Wool insulation down on the bottom for soundproofing and insulation purposes, and then lay plywood on top of that. That's the plan for right now, so here we go. So I've roughed in the supports for the subfloor here. It's a bit what it's gonna look like. I actually put a piece of plywood on this and kind of walked around, and it feels pretty sturdy underneath. Plus there'll be some insulation in between the brackets there. And then so next I'm just going to take this PL 400 subfloor all-weather construction adhesive, load it up on the bottom, put some weights on it to hold it down, and then just let that sit for a while. So before I lay this stuff down, Sabine and I used to have a sign and wood furniture business. And before we would send a particular piece out to a customer, we'd write a Bible verse on the piece. So we'd have it somewhere on the piece, kind of hidden from sight, would be a Bible verse to go with that, to kind of send it off with love. One particular one that we used to do quite a bit was, let all that you do in love, 1 Corinthians 16:14. We like to kind of hide that in all of our stuff, just to bring God's goodness and love to all the things that we do. Time to glue. All right, so this adhesive has been drying up on the top here and also on the floor for about, I don't know, 48 hours. So I think that's a pretty decent amount of cure time here. So I'm going to attempt to take off the weights and take out the braces here, just see how well that adhesive worked. Again, I didn't do a ton of research on the adhesive, but just reading the tube and stuff like that, it seemed like it would work for this. Pretty solid. It's exterior stuff, but anyways, I'm gonna try that and see how it goes. Workout is done for the day. All right, so from what I can tell, it's holding pretty solid. If I shake them, they're not moving. There's a few spots up in the front there where it looks like it kind of came up a little bit, maybe so. But I think for the sake of what I'm trying to do here, I think this will be okay, because there's going to be weight down on these things too, because we're going to put the plywood on, we'll have the bed on, we'll have the cabinetry and all of that good stuff. It's all gonna be on there, which all has weight to it. So I think it'll be okay. So before I lay the plywood, I need to insulate. There's tons of different options out there that you can research and find. They're all different costs, all different materials, things like that. We decided to go with the Havelock Wool, which seems to be a really good insulation for, making sure to keep the cool air in and the warm air in, whatever you need it for. But what we liked most about it is how clean it is. No harmful chemicals in it. It's not going to create kind of a toxic cornucopia inside of our van while we're sleeping and things like that. So it's made out of genuine sheep's wool. It smells like sheep. So here in Minnesota, we got a state fair. It kind of smells a little bit like a lesser version of the barn area. It's kind of pleasant, to be honest with you. And it's super soft. So like, I need to use this for like a blanket or something. But it comes in these nice sheets. You can kind of pick away at them and make them thinner if you need to, or you can stack them up. Otherwise you can cut them to match what you need to, or you can pick it off to kind of put it into the little nooks and crannies. But so I'm gonna cut just right along the strips. I'm gonna cut some insulation to lay down underneath the plywood, and we're going to, that's what I'm gonna do. So I got that first plywood all screwed down. Everything seems all well and good over there. Pretty happy about that. So now I need to fill in this front section here. I got the one piece rip down, which is 2 feet up here. And then obviously by 4 feet, the width of the plywood here. But I have this little extra space here that I need to fill in. So I've added a brace or a batten there. And then I've added a 1x3 right here to hold. I will also put a little brace underneath here because there's a little, whatever this thing is that pops up. And then I'll do the same on the other side. Something I'm considering is doing a cutout of this right about here. Because I'm going to have the battery over there. We changed our mind with having the battery here. We're going to move the battery up there, and then I can run cables underneath the floor here and then up through this plywood to where I need to go, or up that way and up and where I need to go. So, so I might do a little cutout so that I can have the battery sit down in there, and then I can really, have my other battery components up there, but it's not going to take up too much space up there. I'll have much more room to work around with things over there. So I think I'm going to do that, do a little cutout, and then fasten this stuff down here, and then we should be good with the subfloor. All right, so I was up until about 1 a.m. last night just trying to piece together this front part, getting it supported, because it's, like I mentioned before, it kind of goes down here, but I also didn't have enough plywood to make it all the way across, so I was going to have to fit in a little piece here. After talking with Sabina and kind of thinking about it a little bit more, we decided to go ahead and just grab another piece of plywood so I can just stretch it all the way across here, because this piece has just having more parts that are screwed into the main battens there just gives it that additional support. So long term, it's a good idea. We had to take out a second mortgage on our house to get the plywood. Just kidding, but ultimately it'll be better this way anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that, take this one out, and then we can really get moving on this part of it.
Another really useful tool to have is a circular saw. These you can find at any hardware store, tool sales store. You can find them on Marketplace, really anywhere. As long as it's got a decent blade on it, it can do the job, especially for this underlayment. The subfloor doesn't have to be super pretty. But these are reasonably priced. I just have this Ryobi one. I don't use it very often. I'm also not very good at it, at using it yet. So just something to consider as well. I like it for these kind of longer cuts. The jigsaw tends to kind of move around a little bit more. So I just like this because it cuts a little bit straighter. I just have a guide set up here, so I can cut right along my line, and then I'm just gonna rip through it. So measure twice, cut once. So Sabina tells me. I'm gonna measure just to be sure that my line is correct.
Okay, so I cut that all out, screwed it all in, got it all gravy here. Cut some supports here. These are 6.5 inches to hold this corner up. Cut one for the middle that's 3¼ inches, and then another 6.5 on that side. So it's all lined up really nice. I got some extra battens here, like I mentioned in the last video. Everything's pretty solid. I can crawl on it. Also got my battery cut out here, which will be really nice. I'm just gonna set my battery down in there. It's gonna stick out a little bit higher, but at least I'm utilizing that space, and then I'll have more vertical space for the other components in the battery box that ends up right here. So subfloor is all done, insulated, ready to rock and roll. On to the next. Check. All right, so the subfloor project is done. This was a tricky one for sure. Some of it was really challenging to figure out. So if you're getting into your build and you're watching YouTube videos, looking at the blogs, and everybody makes it look so easy, sometimes it's not. Sometimes once you can plan and prep all you want to, and then you get out there and there's something a little bit different about your van, how things are laid out, where the bumps are, and things like that. So this was hard. I definitely, this was probably the hardest part so far, getting this done, but I didn't give up. Sometimes I had to take a little break to kind of separate myself from it, and then come back at it. But just don't give up. Keep on going. If you have any questions, let me know. If you like these videos, feel free to subscribe to our channel. We're continuing to put those videos out as we finish off projects, to see how things are going. So if you found this useful at all, give it a like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. On to the next one. We'll catch you later.